Live in a city long enough and you'll likely get to know your way around by familiarizing yourself with local landmarks, buildings, parks, homes, each one adding to the general makeup of that town and providing some insight into the people that live there. Tonight, KTAB's Noah McKinney taking a look back at two men who played a major role in creating that familiar skyline, David S. Castle and James D. Jimmy Tittle.
When it comes to the Abilene skyline, is there any one thing that really juts out to you, anything that sticks in your memory?
Well, I think the Wooten Hotel pops in mind first, and then the Alexander building and the Mims building.
Take a quick glance downtown in any city and you'll learn a lot about their community, where they've come from, what they find important to preserve, and where they want to go.
Some of the families that helped start Abilene, Wooten and Leggett and Wagstaff, they helped create a town for their kids, and those kids carried it on, and it's kind of self-sustaining.
Abilene historian Jay Moore has spent more than a few hours pondering that skyline. He even wrote a few books about it. But this story is not one of architectural review. Rather, we're focusing on those that took their vision from pen and paper to brick and mortar, making an impact in their own time that's rippled out through the decades.
If you look at, the top of the Paramount medallions and all that, the W's on the side of the Wooten Hotel that's iconic just to that building.
Whether in the intricate electrical considerations of the 1920s home of tomorrow or the ornate dressings of First Central Presbyterian, detail-oriented is a term well associated with Abilene architect David S. Castle.
Details on buildings humanize the building.
At the age of 72, Castle passed away in October 1956. The details he left behind going on to shape and characterize Abilene as a city to this day. And it was right around that same time that another creative mind, James Jimmy Tittle, stood at the forefront of his own legacy.
Jimmy Tittle, and I know this for a fact because I asked him on more than one occasion if he could provide a list of buildings that he had designed at Abilene, and he wouldn't do it because he felt like he didn't design them all. His name was on the firm, just like David Castle's name was on the firm. Those men got the credit for the building, but they would be the first to tell you it was a group effort. It was not just them.
That isn't to say that Tittle didn't leave an impact. Buildings such as the Abilene Airport Courthouse and even the Abilene Zoo, where the lake bears his name, exemplify the modern or mid-century modern architectural style that was popular during his time. Tittle passed away this year at the age of 97, but he's left Abilene in good hands, the torch never really needing to be passed, as the drive to grow our own culture and community has never been possessed by any one person alone.
New development helps drive community. There's always been a sense to me that Abilene wants to improve itself, and that the people who live here are in charge of that, and they know that.
Each generation inheriting an Abilene of their own, fresh minds and fresh eyes, casting their gaze to the skyline in wonder and possibility.
There's just a long-standing sense of community here. The sense that, yeah, we can do it ourselves.
For BigCountryHomepage.com, I'm Noah McKinney.
Thank you, Noah. So many of the buildings and locations mentioned in that story are currently or have formerly been the subject of restoration and renovation projects throughout the years, including downtown's most iconic buildings like the Grace, the Paramount, and Abilene Heritage Square. For an in-depth look at how those buildings were preserved after almost being lost to the ages, that can be found on the KTAB website, BigCountryHomepage.com.